Hello and welcome to the Unboxable podcast. I'm your host, Alena. This is a connected community of mothers going from burnt out, stressed out, desperately needing a minute for themselves to relaxed, full of joy, and with the energy to show up as the best mom possible. This is stories of women rediscovering themselves, finding meaning, and nurturing body, mind, and soul. So today the topic, a little bit cryptic, is when no means yes. So the reason I called it that is because I think we all talk a lot about saying no to things. That's a bit of a no-brainer. But I want to really dive a little deeper into that and why it's important and what it can do for you. I've been having a little bit of success with this. I've talked before with my community about blocking out time on calendars, and I've been practicing that lately, and it's been giving me a very solid sense of spaciousness that I dearly needed, actually. Busy weekends with sports, busy weeks with work and children and all of the things, and it's so important to just carve out space. And I know that's one of the greatest challenges we face as mothers, is to carve out space for ourselves and for things that really light us up, and just to play with our kids and to have space and time available to us. It's a great challenge. So one of the things that saying no does is it creates that space, and you can do it in a very intentional way. So the first thing that I really think it's important to say no to is just to things that don't really light you up, that you don't love anymore, that no longer serve you. And this is a constant process, right? We have to constantly tune in to what is working and what is not working, what is giving to us and really enriching us, and what is no longer doing that, or what perhaps we are hanging on to for other reasons because of beliefs that we have. Maybe we're hanging on to always having a tidy house when we have a newborn, and maybe that's not possible at this moment. Maybe we're hanging on to the idea that we have to do our makeup and our hair every day in a certain way, and it's no longer being something that is serving us. It's become a chore. So when you say no to those things, when you say, you know what, that thing is no longer serving me, you are saying yes to a level of freedom. You are saying yes to a space which can be filled to something else. So that's the when no means yes part. The other time that this works really well is with kids. So with children, sometimes we do really need to be able to say no to our children in a loving and aware way. It doesn't have to be saying yes because we can't say no and then no when we're angry. We can say no consciously and in an aware way, and we can explain to them, or perhaps even say, I don't have time to explain right now, but I will later. It's a no. And you can say it in a very present and clear way. It doesn't have to be, and you can to be firm. Don't cross the road. That's all good as well. And what that does is it says yes to limitations and parameters that are safe and regulating for your children. Sometimes children feel safer when they know the boundary, when they know what they're pushing up against. So that gives them a sense of safety and a sense of also that you are really looking out for them and aware of what they're doing and giving them some ways of creating boundaries for themselves. You're showing them ways to create boundaries for themselves. So in that sense, you say no, but you're also giving them a yes to their own boundary lines. And that's really important for children as they grow into young adults. The other thing is that I think when often we buy things we don't need, or we say yes to things from other people that we don't need. And actually what we need to say is, no, I don't need that. Or no, I no longer need that. That can be repurposed or handed on through something like Free Cycle or Facebook Marketplace or to charities. That sometimes we need to clear our space out. We need to say no to the things in our lives that we are buying or keeping that are not serving us and that are actually maybe serving another need that could be served differently. So sometimes we buy because we want joy. How else can we serve that function? What else could serve the purpose of giving us joy that doesn't involve buying things we don't need? Do we need it? What's going to happen to it when we're finished with it? Can we use something we already have? These are the questions to ask when you're buying things that ensure that we're making ethical choices and regenerative choices with our purchases. Can we buy something with less plastic? There's all these different questions which are really good to ask. And perhaps that's a topic for another talk. But I would say when you're beginning down this pathway of saying no to things you haven't previously said no to, it's a really good idea to be aware that it might take some time. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with the people that you're saying no to as well. They may not be used to it. You might need to say no to a girlfriend. I can't have coffee that day because I need to do some other things for myself. Or you might need to say no and yes. No, I can't do that, but maybe we could do something else together. And choose something more regenerative, a walk in the sun, like something that serves you. I mean, I find coffee with girlfriends really regenerative, but I'm just saying you've got to choose the things that are working for you. And you've got to do that in a conscious and aware sense and continuously. This is a continuous process, a continuous evolution of getting closer to our essence and learning to love ourselves in our unique ways. And really backing yourself to do that and really standing up for yourself in doing that with other people. It might be that you need to say no to your partner. No, I'm really sorry. I cannot cook dinner every night this week. I need some help. You don't even need to say sorry. But at first you might say that because you want to do it gently. And I think that's okay. And I think you need to be really kind to yourself. It's not going to straight up be this bold lion-like no. You might need to work up to that. It's like an acquired taste. It's like learning to do a new movement in a sport. You might need to train it up, and that's a really good thing to do. So be kind to yourself. Be aware. Don't expect it to happen all at once. Change happens gently and gradually over time, especially the sustainable and healthy and long-lasting types of changes. They happen slowly and gently. So tread lightly, feel deeply. Find ways to incorporate this in a gentle and sustainable and regenerative sense, and what works for your family, your partnership, your friendships. So that's my share for today. I've talked about how saying no can be saying yes in another very big and important way. We might need to do it with our kids. We might need to do it with the things that no longer serve us or the things we'd like to do differently. We may need to do it with our stuff. We may need to do it with what we buy. And to give yourself time and take it gently and slowly and allow yourself to train up the muscle and create those neural pathways over time. So I do invite you here today to share in the comments something that you would like to say no to, something that you might be thinking about now that maybe you could say no to that would create a big yes. And the benefits of that, what I've been finding, I've recently given myself half a day a week where it's completely protected. It's a buffer bubble. It's Alena time. And in that time, I'm not allowed to work. I'm not allowed to clean. I'm not allowed to run errands. It's just reading books I want to read, being in nature, doing anything really nurturing and grounding, maybe get a massage, something that really, really serves me to be able to show up in the other parts of my life. Because in order to show up as a membership owner, as a podcaster, as all the things that I do, I really need to be able to look after myself and take care of myself and have those boundaries. So that is my gift to you today. This is about when saying no means saying yes. And I would love to hear from you in comments, on social media, in messages to me. I'd love to hear how this is working in your life and if this has earned the honor and the privilege of your time today. Thank you.